Cool hand, look, Humphries!
Waste time with the masterpiece, waste time with the masterpiece. You should be rolling me, you should be rolling me. You're a real life fantasy, you're a real life fantasy. But you're moving so carefully, let's start living dangerously. Talk to me, baby. I'm going up on this, sweet, sweet baby. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go fucking crazy. Keep on hoping we can't find the ocean. Walk for me, baby. I'll be giving you the night only. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go fucking crazy. Keep on hoping we can't find the ocean.
Sein Gegner und Landsmann ist 30 Jahre alt. Er stand heuer schon im Viertelfinale bei den Danish Open und im Achtelfinale bei den German Open, beim German Darts Championships und bei den European Darts Open. Aktuell ist er die Nummer 18 der Welt. Hier ist The Rockstar, Joe Cullen!
She knows it's too late as we're walking on by. Her soul slides away. But don't look back in anger. I heard you say. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as she's walking on by.
Three more matches to come here in the evening session, day 2 of the Austrian Darts Championship 2019, the inaugural edition of this new event on the European Tour. A little later, we've got 2 Dutchmen to come. Jeffrey de Zwaan against Darren Webster in our final match of the night. The world number 1 and the reigning world champion Michael van Gerwen takes on Kyle Anderson very shortly. But right now, we've got 2 Englishmen on the stage for you. This man in your picture, the number 12 seed Joe Cullen, up against Luke Humphries, a man he beat fairly recently as well. 2 wins out of 2 for Joe Cullen against this particular opponent. And their most recent meeting coming in Hildesheim on the Players' Championship circuit at the start of August. Cullen coming through that one by 6 legs to 3. I think Cullen would love a similar outcome here because, well, let's face it, he really do with a confidence-boosting run on the European Tour. He's done bits and pieces, a couple of quarterfinals on the Euro circuit this year in 2019, and that will set the tone very nicely indeed. But Luke Humphries, a very capable and a very dangerous and a very promising young player indeed, Paul Nicholson.
Yeah, very much so, and without going on too much about what's been going on with Luke in 2019, I think we can talk about the Luke Humphries right now. He had adversity yesterday against Jozza. Not only was he playing one of the hottest guys on the circuit right now, but he had darts on the floor. He was frustrated. He was 5 each with Jozza, and you're thinking,
99.
oh, this is tough. And he just bangs in a beautiful 12-dart leg to finish that match. That was so mature and incredibly impressive.
140, 102.
Joe Cullen 42 points away, double 16 required for the
He's on the
opener.
first
Very
leg, Joe
neat
Cullen.
and tidy
Second
stuff
leg,
to start
reverse.
things off, and little wonder Vicky, Luke Humphries' girlfriend, is puffing out the cheeks there because that was a very strong start
140.
indeed by the number 12 seed.
Yeah, Tony Cullen will be watching at home, and if you are, Tony, happy summer, hope you're well, and you'll be buoyed by that
78.
start from Joe. And we've talked many, many times in the last 48 hours about ring rust and people coming back to the tour. Well, there was no sign of rust.
96.
Someone's had the wire wool out on Joe because he looked polished in that first leg. But Joe has always
78.
said he relishes playing on the European Tour. Now, he's seeded 12 here. He was in danger of losing his seeding a couple of months ago. He did enough to keep it, and he's kept it until the
99.
minimum of Gibraltar. And you're right, Rob. He needs a bit of a run. He needs something deep. He needs to break that glass ceiling with stuff like that, and that's his second 180
Yeah,
in so many legs.
I'm glad you said that. I just wanted to qualify what I said at the outset, because I made the point that, you know, Joe Cullen could really do with putting the runs together. Now, as you say, he still believes that the Euro Tour brings out something in him, and I think that's very true.
133. Luger requires
Let's see if
32.
Humphries can take out this double 16 to level things up. Double 8 for the leveller. Double 4.
28.
And they are
Joe
the sorts of opportunities that Humphries
32.
cannot afford to pass up. Cullen himself looking at double 16. Double 8, similar passage here.
28.
Deja vu.
Luger
16 to
requires
8 to
4.
4. Both players going that way.
Did anybody just say a glitch in the Matrix? Because that was deja vu. Madhouse. Oh, right under the wire. And a tinge of relief for Luke Humphries. A bit of a scare for him. Could have easily been 2 legs to love down.
96.
As it stands, he's equal.
Yeah, so Cullen still believes the Euro Tour brings something out in him. He's made 2 semi-finals and 8 quarter-finals in Europe
60.
since the start of last year. But I, for one, and I'm sure I'm not alone, suspect that Cullen is massively frustrated at not having made a Euro Tour final. It is the one, it's a glaring omission from his CV. He'll be looking around at all the other players that have made a Euro Tour final. The likes of Ricky Evans, the likes of Jamie Hughes, the likes of
96.
and he'll be thinking, I should have done this by now. I'm pretty sure he'll be of that mindset.
I am convinced that there are nights, quite a lot of the time,
58.
that Joseph goes to sleep thinking, why have I not won one? He should have won in Graz last year because he should have got through that semi-final with Geraint Price. He was
140.
devastated by that.
Yeah, we've seen firsthand the upset that he's had and the fact that it clearly matters.
Correct.
Sorry.
96.
The way he was playing that weekend, he could well have beaten Johnny Clayton in that final. But as it turns out, Johnny got the title and the jacket. That was in Graz.
80. Joe
Could it be Austria where he breaks that glass ceiling and shoots forward and does a Jamie Hughes? He has got a couple of titles in the bank.
79.
And he has played
Luger
better on the floor this year.
125.
But this is where he wants to win. Now, 60 for tops.
85.
Well over the bar with that
Joe
one.
requires
It was
32.
Joe who was having an elevated heartbeat there. Double 9. He's splitting it. Double 8.
16. Luger requires 40.
Well, it was the right thing to do. But Humphries does get another opportunity at tops. And he's looking at double 10. It's anxious
30.
stuff on the double so far, which you
Joe
might
requires
understand
16.
and appreciate. Vicky grimacing already.
And
And
on the third
Cullen
leg,
steps
Joe
in
Cullen.
and tidies up
For
very
very
nicely.
Luke
But yeah, as you
to
say, I
Rosebuds.
mean, on the Pro Tour, he's done some good stuff. I mean, 6 weeks ago, shortly after he celebrated his 30th birthday, Cullen reached his
100.
first Pro Tour final in just over 2 years. He lost it 8-1 against Peter Wright, but there were encouraging signs for Cullen. He'd
41.
been impressive all day. He beat Geraint Price, he beat Adrian Lewis on his way to the final. And everybody at the time thought, well, this is a really good, timely run to a final. Just, you know,
83.
a few days before the World Match Play. But Blackpool was an absolute nightmare for him. The Rockstar was battered 10-0 by Ian White. in what was
59.
an awkwardly one-sided encounter. It wasn't a comfortable watch, I thought that.
So much so that I didn't watch it after being 5-0
96.
down. I actually thought, oh, I've got a really bad feeling about this, and that feeling was warranted because
98.
yeah, you don't want to be drubbed to the donut. It's happened to a couple of friends of mine. It's happened to Robert Thornton, happened to Jamie Caven, and there's no worse feeling really.
140.
Joe has had some time off over the summer, and he looks
117.
He looks trim.
Luger requires 82.
and it's nice to see him smiling on the stage as well as focused. But Humphries at tops again with dart 3, and this time it's
62.
low, but no panic. He can come back to equalise with Joe languished north of the scoring zone.
I think Humphries, for his own peace of mind, would like to just iron out these
134.
problems he's having
Luger
with doubles, which
20.
are evident already. I mean, yesterday the issue was the bounce
It's
out.
on the full flag. Luke
None of those
Humphries.
so far
Flag Joe
today.
to Rosebuds.
Double tennis found, so that will settle him down. But yeah, the missed start at tops, that would have given him a 2-1 lead. Comes downstairs sensibly there.
139.
Yeah, if he'd gone anywhere near that dart, it was going to pop out the board. I don't know whether you managed to catch the Peter Wright game, but he had one of the best 180s I've ever seen. He had a first dart which clipped the wire, and it was dangling there precariously like Greg Louganis on a diving board. And you're thinking,
120.
Something like that. You know, you get that kind of bounce out when they're so close together. But you're thinking, go down to the 19s, Peter. Go down to the 19s. Oh, no. He just hit a 180 like that, but he used the left side. He didn't go anywhere near the dangling dart. It was so impressive.
58.
Yeah, good match between Wright and Vandenberg. Vandenberg made a real fist of it in the end. When he looked to be in a spot of bother, he trailed significantly in that
100.
one. He clawed his way back into contention. And I think he too is a player who, okay, he's lost today, but I think he can take one or two positives out of this weekend.
122.
Now Humphries, 1-2-2 for a break of throw.
Good go for the 54.
Ooh, he's just gone the wrong side of that wire. 92
50.
away.
Joe, you require 126.
72 away.
This has got Joe written all over it. Not on this occasion. Any pro dart player is disappointed not to get a shot at double six of the ball on a 1-2-6. They love that number. Another one. One dart at tops again. He's not figured out where it is on dart 3 yet. And Cullen has pressurised, and he gets a chance to hold through. That looks good to me. Maybe not.
No score.
Well, Humphries missed out at tops for a 2-on lead, a break of throw in leg 3. He's missed tops already in this leg as well. Can't afford to miss it again. That's further away.
20.
And this is becoming just a little bit of an issue now, isn't it?
28.
Because, well, he might find himself 3-2 down, but you could argue he could be 4-1 up.
Well, Vicky was looking at the screen there. Very confused and should be looking at it now with disappointment.
To throw first.
As Joe Cullen survives a big scare on his own throw. You can see that big exhalation.
81.
Yeah. Just to paint a little picture of what's been going on today as well, by the way, Humphries and his girlfriend Vicky were involved in a bit of an ordeal earlier on today. They, well, with Humphries not in action until, what are we, 20 past 10 at night. They decided to make the most, or try to make the most of their free day in the daytime in Vienna. They caught the local train from here at Schwechat, where the arena is, where the hotel is, to Vienna to do some sightseeing. But the train was held up because of an attempted suicide on the line. Fire engines, ambulance crews,
40.
Air ambulance, police. Big delay. They were stuck on the train for what seemed like an eternity. They eventually got to Vienna. They decided to press on and try and make
96.
something of their day. But then, of course, there were problems getting back as well. So it rather took the shine, took the gloss off what should have been a relaxing day. And it was something that left both of them fairly upset, fairly distraught. The man in question survived.
96.
And is in hospital.
155.
It was just a little something that, well, I mean, there's talk of perspective here, let's face it, but just an episode that has left them a little bit shaken, judging by the conversation that I had earlier with Vicky in particular.
Oh, that's right in the middle. That one's right down its neck. That one leaves tops.
130. 96.
Can he leave double 8? He can. And he can't
80.
get it. It's those dark 3 shots at doubles that have cost Humphries possibly a big lead here. And Cullen is like a pigeon when the seeds are scattered in Trafalgar Square. He's picking them up.
Well, little wonder Humphries is shaking his head. This was the issue yesterday. He got away with it to an extent against Jamie Hughes because he came through, but he missed 17 darts at a double yesterday, 6 out of 23 for his finishing, and already today we are seeing more than a few signs of problems for Humphries on his finishing once again. He is 2 from 17 so far.
44.
Cullen is 4 from 15, hardly covering himself in glory, but it's more than enough so far for Joe Cullen.
I've seen enough in this game to be encouraged by Joe's form. I thought a little earlier in the season he looked a bit too forward
60.
on his stance, and he was swaying a bit too much. But it looks way more solid right now. I don't know whether he's sought some advice about that over the summer.
134.
The scoring in this game from Joe that really makes me think that he's going to come into some good
60.
results in the next 3 weeks, potentially 5 weeks, with 4 European Tour events to finish off the summer.
Yeah, that recent run to the
95.
final of that Pro Tour event at home in the UK has lifted him back up to 11th on the Pro Tour order of merit. So
100.
that was timely
91.
again, because he was just beginning to dip a little bit. Tops for
He's
Cullen.
on the 7th flag. Joe Cullen.
This is looking comfortable now. It's very hard to see Humphries getting back into this, way adrift, and given the way he's been finishing off, it's very hard to see Humphries challenging Cullen here. But as long as there's hope.
Oh, there's always hope until the final double goes
57.
in, that's for sure. But Luke has probably squandered a very big opportunity here, because he's 5-2 down. He could easily be in the driving seat by that scoreline, based on the missed doubles that he's had.
140.
Well, he's had 6 visits of, in excess of 140. That's more than Joe Cullen's been able to muster, but the
57.
big difference has been the finishing. Pure and simple. That is the story of this match.
190.
Back in the leg comes Joe Cullen with another 180. And you'd much rather have 124 than 164. And how many times on a Saturday has Joe Cullen
45.
won a match on a shot like this?
124.
Treble 18. Leaves the bullseye.
99. Luke Ricoeur, 109.
I'm going to return that crystal
Nice.
ball to the Austrian crystal ball shop. It was wrong.
Well, there would be a certain element of irony if Humphries were to take out this 119, but he's not going to do that now.
45.
Hasn't
That
been
has
his
been
day.
the story. That has been the story of his night. There's no doubt about it. Cullen, double eights, 2 darts in hand. Just sets himself, realigns himself.
17.
And fails to find the
Luke
target.
Ricoeur, 74.
Is there another twist in the tail yet?
14s finds the treble. Double 16. Double eights.
58.
And that is indicative of
Joe
the malaise,
Ricoeur,
as they say.
8.
Perfect word, indicative. Could be the word of the day. Word of the day for Joe Cullen is victory.
8 shot and the
And he
match.
stumbles
Joe
across the line, but the
Cullen.
thing about that performance is there was a lot to be buoyed about when he plays tomorrow against Peter Wright, Rob.
Und wir begrüßen im Achtelfinale Joe Cullen. Joe, congrats and welcome to the next round. What do you think about your performance today?
I played okay when I had to do. Luke let me in loads of times. It was nip and tuck early on, but Luke missed, so many doubles. He'd be disappointed with that. But I think he actually played okay. But it was just the doubles in the end, and it cost him.
What about your impressions of Austria and Vienna Schwächert?
Yeah, Austria is great every time we come here. Whether it's be Innsbruck, Graz or Vienna, it's always great here, and we look forward to coming here.
We're looking forward to see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Joe Cullen, meine Damen und Herren.